Now, in this one, I just said, what is the worst flag that you've seen when first dating? I didn't make it gender specific, so that was open to everybody. So I wanted to see what people would say. Are we going to get the gals to chime in, or what would happen? Anyway, turned up high and drunk on our first date, then proceeded to shout and curse the staff at the bar. Quite an experience. I left. Yeah, it's just, look, guys, you know, I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I started the Ladies Night Project, and if you're not watching that podcast series, it's on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. I had higher hopes for the caliber and the quality of women that we would be able to invite onto the show as guests. We're not looking for difficult women. Like Moff does all the recruiting. We've had conversation. We're not looking, like, we're looking for what you're going to see out there, right? Granted, from time to time, you'll see a couple of OnlyFans girls on, but it's rare now. Like the last show was the last one that we did it, and to be honest with you, that Jasmine character was a colossal waste of time, just a fucking train wreck. It's not a good sample size, but the sample size that we've seen from the months of the other shows, the caliber and quality of women out there that you have available to you, they're not good. I've said this many times, you're going to dig through a lot of dirt before you find gold when it comes to dating. Spin plates, date them simultaneously in a non-monogamous fashion. Let the cream rise to the top. Let her come to you and say, hey, Rich, where do we stand? I dig your vibe. I don't want to share you. I want to claim you. I'm not seeing anybody else. Other guys are invisible to me. You know what I've been talking about, this sort of stuff. Then that's when you can, at that point, make a decision. You're going to evaluate her against the red flags. Again, if you want to see them all, they're below on the email list. You're going to evaluate her against the red flags. And if it's low to none, then you can make a decision at that time and say, look, I dig your vibe too, but let's say, for example, she's posting thirst traps on social media. Not all the time, but sometimes, enough that it's a problem. But I can't take a gal seriously that posts, sexy, provocative pictures on social media. You're not using it for business. You're only using it to get attention and likes and comments from guys. So can you knock it off? Because then I might be able to take you seriously, sort of thing, right? That's how you handle situations like that. But you're going to dig through a lot of dirt before you find something that looks like gold. And like a woman like that might say, well, get fucked, I'm not going to do that. Okay, you made this very simple for me. Bye. Right? I've got other options. We'll see how those pan out, sort of thing. Or she may say, you know what, you're absolutely right. A woman in a serious relationship with a guy that she adores and loves, and of course, you're looking at it from your perspective. Yes, she has genuine burning desire for me and all that sort of stuff. She'll delete her social media. She'll shut it off if she admires, adores, and loves you. She will. Trust me, I know. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, so here's another one. Massive lack of accountability, personal accountability. I used to do this, from time to time. If I was on a date with a chick and she was all my ex, the government, my employer, my boss, everybody's an asshole. Everybody does them wrong. My parents, my sister, doesn't matter what it happens to be. It's everybody else's fault but hers. I would just look at her in the eye and be like, cool. So what role did you play in this? Like, how could you have made that better? How could you have avoided that situation? Right? Like basically asking them, well, what's your role in this equation? What did you do to contribute to this shit show? Right? Like, where's the accountability? If she doesn't take accountability, again, it's not long-term relationship material. It's very simple, guys. This is why I say date a bunch of women simultaneously in a non-monogamous fashion. The cream will rise to the top, and the stuff that's not the cream will just fall down, right? The plates will fall down and smash. Do whatever you want with that, right? When she tells you she's not fully over her ex, that's alpha widowed. Again, that's in my red flag list. They don't always jump back to them. Given the chance, if he comes back, they may. Usually when a chick's alpha widowed, it's because she couldn't secure him, so he walked on her. So they generally don't want anything to do with him, which speaks volumes. Like, why would, like, if she's such a great chick, if she's selling herself to you, like, I'm such a great catch and da-da-da-da. If this guy walked away from her, then why? I would even ask that question. So, I mean, she's already telling you that, she's alpha widowed at that point. So why not play along? don't explain what an alpha widow is or that you've recognized that trait in her. That doesn't do anything. It's a waste of your time. Don't try to red pill women or any of that shit. That's what dorks do. But, oh, so why did he leave you if you're so great? And then just sit there and wait for her to answer, right? We talked about daddy issues. Victim is another one that's on my red flag list. You know, women that are always unhappy or unlucky. They have a victim mindset about everything. Frustrated because of work. I don't talk to my parents very often. Yeah, a lot of these we've already covered. I was chatting up a young lady at a party, and she informed me she was intimidating to men. Her parents were both dead. Her son is a result of a rape 10 years earlier. True story. She's intimidating to men. That's a boss girl. That's a chick that wants to compete with you. Like, intimidating how? Look, unless you're dating a chick that's the same, like I'm 6'2", like unless I'm dating a chick that's 6'2" of fucking Amazon, which I don't, because I'm not attracted to fucking Sasquatches. I want to date women that are feminine and you know, like in feminine stature, right? I don't want a chick that weighs 200 pounds. You can't pick them up. Why would she be intimidating to us as men? I mean, to me anyway, that's just how I roll. But why would a chick tell me? I mean, I can't imagine a chick sitting across me from a date, between 5'5" and 5'8", 9 or something like that, and going, well, I intimidate men. How exactly? I've seen legitimately scary fucking dudes. I've never been intimidated by, like, even an MMA fighter like Ronda Rousey. She would not intimidate me. I'd be like, I mean, most average guys of you know, height and weight could probably intimidate me. Come on, let's move on from that. While I appreciate her honesty, she flat out told me that she's high maintenance and believed that if a man did not spoil her financially, that she would consider him cheap. How about get fucked? Yeah. I will spend my money and time and attention on you as I see fit. You don't get to tell me what I have to do. That's an immediate get fucked. Why? Because you have other options. Because you generally have better options than that. High maintenance. All that high maintenance means is that she's a bitch, generally speaking, is that she's going to be difficult. She's going to nag you. She's going to chat. She's going to criticize you. Just don't. Admitted that she cheated on her husband with a virtual bum, a valet at a hospital that was 10 years younger, a liar, alcoholic friend. I was an idiot. She was a pump and ghost, but I fell for her BS. I cheated on my husband. Make me your wife. Okay. It took place where I lived in Alaska. I got back into dating, went to a nice late afternoon coffee date. Homegirl didn't work. I was cool with it. First half of the date goes well, very respectful and well put together. We see the Northern Lights are out and decide to go for a cool spot to take a light show. This is a little story. I didn't have a four-wheel drive vehicle at the time. It was nice. It was snowing, so we hopped in her brand new SUV. Nice. We get to the outskirts of town, and she starts hysterically crying and breaking this character she was in. It was some real life stuff from movie Split. Turns out she was schizophrenic and planning to kill me because my appearance looked like the guy that hurt her as a child. Holy smokes. I mean, generally speaking, you want to be in control of the situation in the date because you don't know what you're dealing with. Like, you could be dealing with some legit crazy chick. I'll tell you a story in a second. Yeah, like, you want to be in your own vehicle. I even go to the extent, like, if I sit in a restaurant, I usually sit where I can see the entrance. Like, this is something that I learned in Krav Maga, right? Like, you want situational awareness. You sit where your back's up against the wall. You're looking at the, you know, the entrances and the exits sort of thing. You just know what's going on, right? It's from my motorcycle days. I talk about in the book why it's a good idea for men to own a motorcycle and, you know, detail all the reasons for that. And it's one of the things that I learned while, you know, being a motorcyclist. You have to keep your head on a swivel. You have to know what's around you. You have to have situational awareness. I would have probably sniffed out crazy before I got anywhere near her vehicle. But if you're going to plan to go anywhere, you should be driving. That's just my take on it. Oh, that story. Yeah, let me share that story, and then we'll get to the call-in Q&As in a second. So let's pull this out here. Speaking of crazy. Had this date once with this gal. She was hot, kind of a fitness gal. You know, that's what I'm attracted to, like a fitness girl, right? Curves, pretty, you know, in shape, but not muscular, not like dude looking, like a bikini model type of look. So she ticked off those boxes. Blah, blah, blah. We're talking, you know, standard sort of stuff that I would do around the time. Grab a coffee, go for a stroll, you know, open park somewhere, lots of sunlight, lots of air, lots of people around. She's comfortable. You go sit down somewhere, you're chatting. She goes, have you ever been in the back of a police car? And I'm thinking to myself, that's an interesting question. I've never been asked that. Then I go, wait, have you ever been in the back of a police car? I'm wondering why she's asking me the question. And then this is when she starts singing like a canary. Well, there was the one time when I was trying to talk to my boyfriend and he locked me out of the house, and I picked up a log that was stacked at the side of the house that he would use for firewood, and I threw it through the front window, and I ended up in the back of the police car, and I spent a few hours in jail. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Like, ask questions, guys. Women will sing like a canary if you ask them questions. They love talking. Give them the opportunity, give them the soapbox, the stage, and hear what they're all about. Because that, again, that's what your date is about. It's a sniff test. You want to see what she's made of. You want to see what she's about. Is this a chick that I want to spend, you know, more than one date with? Because the whole problem with like the Mano Swamp and the PUA culture and all this bullshit, they're like, get the same day lay. It's like, sure. But if you're a guy with options and you have abundance, you've got a phone which also has options in it. And if you're single and you're dating non-monogamously, if you want to get laid, it's pretty easy. Okay. So the whole like push for the same date lay, you could invite a nutter into your freaking house. You could end up going back to her house and wake up in a bathtub with ice around you, missing a kidney. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here, and pin down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.